Walkouts in Oklahoma. ABC's Jim Ryan says some schools have had to close for a third day as teachers demand more school funding.
In the Oklahoma House of Representatives,
ladies and gentlemen,
just getting started was difficult Tuesday as teachers filled the gallery to demand action on their salaries. Governor Mary Fallin insists.
We did give them a pay raise.
From a base of $45,000 a year to $52,000. Some teachers say that would still mean working 3, sometimes 4 jobs to make ends meet. Eventually, says Governor Fallin,
I hope we could get to the salary to where they could work 1, or if they choose, they got a big family, 2 jobs.
The Oklahoma House today votes on measures meant to end the teachers' walkout.
A longtime business partner of President Trump's has been facing questions today on Capitol Hill. Felix Sater was involved in a project to build a Trump Tower in Moscow during the 2016 presidential campaign. He spent 2.5 hours behind closed doors with investigators from the Senate Intelligence Committee. Lindsay Janis, ABC News.
Do you owe the IRS?
WROI News. Your news tips are welcome at 223-6059. This is WROI News.
.1 WROI. It's time to take a look at your local news. News today is brought to you by Wendy's Restaurant, 2340 South Main, Rochester. Wendy's is way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. And by Oldrick Heating and Cooling. For reasonable prices, experience, and excellent customer service, call them today at 574-223-6307 or on their cell at 574-727-0005. Currently sitting at 35 degrees under mostly cloudy skies here in downtown Rochester. We'll have a look at your full weather forecast a little bit later on in your news. The Rochester School Board met and discussed school security and guns with police and members of the County Prosecutor's Office. Rochester School Board member Brad Weaver was our guest on the WROI Schools Report and filled listeners in.
People should know, yes, it was being discussed, and yes, it will be discussed, but there's no definitive answers yet. That's just one small piece of a very, very big puzzle. I know Brian Lewis and I are going to go to breakfast this Friday because it's not just about guns in school. It's about socioeconomics. It's about family values. It's about all those different pieces, and how can we as a community protect our children and give them the opportunity to do better in school, and not only in school, but therefore in life. So understand that we're not just going to say, okay, every teacher's carrying a gun. That's
right.
Not the way it works. We would never do that. There's no great conspiracy to put guns in schools or anything like that, but it is a piece of the puzzle we're talking about.
Rochester Superintendent Jana Vance was also our guest, and she talked to us about the poor grade the schools received on the I-STEP test after the company giving the test made a mistake in the math sections.
One of the questions I did ask the state, we were honest. We knew that something was not right.
Exactly.
We asked for help. We asked that we get these supports in place. We've been questioning it for 3 days. Can you tell me that if other schools weren't aware, weren't paying attention, you may have had a substitute teacher, you may have hired in a different teacher to administer in an individual classroom. If they weren't certain what was going on, does the system catch that popped up for them as well? And they admittedly said no. So I sat there and wonder, not only are our scores artificially deflated, because how can you have a system where 0 pass a math test? It just isn't going to happen. Are other schools artificially inflated because of that? And it's a question that they still haven't been able to answer.
She then addressed what happens now.
So some of the questions that are really popping up is, does this impact our federal funding? Absolutely not. Does it mean that people are going to come in and take over our schools as they've talked about in other communities? Absolutely not. Do we have valid and reliable data? We do. That test is just one component, one time, one indicator of where students are. We do NWEA testing. We do local assessments. We are constantly tracking reading scores through various programs. And so that's the data that we rely on, that day-to-day data to push our students forward.
And again, that was Rochester Schools Superintendent Jana Vance. Purdue agricultural expert Mark Kepler was our guest on the WROI Extension Program. Winter seems to be having a hard time giving away to spring this year, and Kepler talked to us about the impact of that on fruit crops.
One of probably the worst things about this past winter that we've had here,
is it did get cold enough this winter to affect some of the fruit crops. Start off with apples. Apples can handle cold weather, just no problem whatsoever. That's the nature of an apple. It can handle that. But then you get down to some things like grapes, for example. Well, you get below 15 degrees below zero, and grapes have issues. And then there's different varieties of grapes, and there's little microclimates here and there. And so in general, we're going to take a hit on the grape production that we've seen this year, because some of those grapes got hit very, very hard, and some of those grapes also came through okay.
And again, that was Purdue agricultural expert Mark Kepler. We'll be back with a look at your full weather forecast after this.
And now for something deliciously different from Wendy's. Wendy's Double Stack is still an option in the 4 for $4. With a quarter pound of fresh beef, 4 nuggets, fries, and a drink. That's a deal so good it should not exist. Like how owls shouldn't be able to turn their heads all the way around.
Whew, wouldn't like that deal.
The 4 for $4 with your choice of a double stack, junior bacon cheeseburger, or crispy chicken BLT. A deal so great, it's impossibly good, but not for long.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time. Meal includes 4-piece chicken nuggets, small fries, and a drink. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada. Not valid in Alaska and Hawaii.
Ulrich Heating and Cooling Rochester offers expert sales and service in northern Indiana. Call 574-223-6307 for all your heating and cooling needs. They service all brands and all types of heating and cooling systems. For new heating and cooling products, Ulrich Heating and Cooling is proud to announce they now offer Armstrong Air, designed to deliver substantial durability, comfort, and energy efficiency. Armstrong Air is the professional's choice. Licensed, insured, and bonded, that's Ulrich Heating and Cooling, locally owned and operated for over 34 years.
And again, we're sitting at 35 degrees under mostly cloudy skies here in downtown Rochester. Winnemac is at 34, Wabash is at 34 as well. We see a chance of rain and snow possible the rest of the afternoon, and tonight we will see partly cloudy skies, and we have a low around 24. We'll have some wind gusts up around 20 miles per hour tonight, and this afternoon we could still see them up around 30 miles per hour. Tomorrow we have a slight chance of rain after 2 o'clock, mostly cloudy otherwise, a high near 41. Tomorrow night, a chance of rain and snow before 1 a.m., then a chance of rain between 1 and 2, and a low around 32. On Friday, there is a chance of rain after 2 o'clock, possibly mixing with snow after 4 o'clock, and a high near 41, a low around 24. On Saturday, it'll be mostly sunny. We have a high near 37 and a low around 22. And then on Sunday, we see mostly sunny skies, and we have a high near 41 and a low around 30. Again, 34 degrees in Wabash, 34 in Winnemac, 35 here in downtown Rochester. And this has been a look at the forecast for Rochester and all of north central Indiana. The news today was brought to you by Wendy's. Wendy's hamburgers are made fresh, never frozen, now open late. And by Ulrich Heating and Cooling. Find out how you can save on your fuel bills with the latest in heating and cooling products. For WROI News, I'm Paul Zartman.
Do you have the WROI News Tip of the Week? When you see or hear news happening, call 223-6059. If you have the top tip of the week, we'll pay you $10. That's 574-223-6059. 223-6059.